Hello, zdravejte, konnichiwa guys. Welcome back to Monoglossia. So, do you know what happened on August 21st? The JLPT Japanese exam results came out. I think that's only for people who took the exam in Japan, and that for the rest of the world they will come a little bit later, which I'm really happy about. And actually I was expecting them on the 22nd, but then I saw someone mention somewhere something about their results, so I was happy to see that they were ready on the 21st. So long story short, like I thought, I passed. And I will put on the screen some more detail about the different sections, as much detail as I have in the moment, because the actual report is going to arrive in September or early October. Actually, the situation is a little bit specific with me right now because I took the exam in Japan, but I'm no longer in Japan, so I had to arrange for my results to be sent to Europe, which was a little bit complicated. Actually, I sent them an email to ask what is done in this kind of situation, and they referred me to a point in a big handbook of JLPT that actually covered this situation. And I had to send a letter to Japan that inside it contains my voucher, a copy of my voucher for the exam, and an envelope with my address in Europe with a stamp. So I sent them that, but then they called me on the phone because something was wrong. Something was wrong with the stamp, I think. It was a stamp that could not be used from Japan, even though it was meant to be an international one. So I had to ask a friend from Japan to go to a post office and send them another letter with a stamp that they can use. It was fun to talk to them on the phone because they were really aware of the fact that I'm a learner, so they were speaking in very clear Japanese. I understood absolutely everything, but then they actually asked a translator to repeat everything in English, which was not needed. Okay, so let's see what I have. So there are the three sections: language knowledge, which is divided into vocabulary and grammar, reading and listening. My overall grade is, let me see once again, 107 out of 180. So you can tell it's a clear pass. I'm not sure, I think I needed around 90, like 50% or 55% in order to pass for the N3. So it is a clear pass, but as you can see, it's not like some very high result for what it is, which is what I was expecting completely. So for language knowledge, I have 33 out of 60, for reading 35 out of 60, and for listening 39 out of 60. And I felt like this was really cool because in the past it was the listening that was the most problematic for me. But life in Japan like changed this completely, listening to Japanese on daily basis, which makes perfect sense, of course, but in particular I am a bit weaker when it comes to both speaking, especially speaking, which luckily is not part of this exam, and listening as well. And then I have some more detail about language knowledge as being broken down into vocabulary and grammar. So I had a B in vocabulary and an A in grammar. If you watched my video when I talked about my first impressions of the exam and like my final thoughts before taking the exam, you notice that I did not revise grammar at all. And I was a bit concerned with that, but apparently there was no reason to be. Okay, so I guess that's what I wanted to say. I could share more information when I receive the formal results. Then I'm also expecting my certificate from the Greek exam that I did not long ago, and I might even do an updated version of my certificate collection. So I'm happy to say actually that I have never failed a language exam. And although you might be led to think that that means that my language skills are amazing, that is not what it means, right? Because obviously if I had gone for a higher level like the N2 or the N1, I would have failed. I would say it's more like, I guess I plan the exams well. I know when to go for what level. Usually exams are expensive, so I'm really happy that I didn't have to retake an exam because of miscalculating my level. And as for my Japanese, this was a big stepping stone because I spent 2 years in Japan, and then in the very last moment, the last day in Japan, the day I actually took the plane back to Europe, I took this exam. So this is really the progress of my whole stay in Japan, basically 2 years. I moved from N4, that was really like borderline passed, to an N3 that I passed more like with a more solid result. Also, I'll mention that the jump between N4 and N3 is a little bit big, like compared to, let's say, between N5 and N4. So I really feel like it was worth it. It was, I put a lot of effort on it, I think. There was also the unconscious effort that came with living in Japan, but I also really did study. I did continue taking private lessons. I took lessons in Kyoto University where I was working, and I moved by a level or a little bit more than a level. So nothing extraordinary, but I guess good progress. And moving forward, I am not planning on giving up on Japanese, but since I will probably be living in Europe, at least for the time being, I don't think there will be any extraordinary progress. I don't think I will put the time and effort to go for N2 in the near future. But I'm very, very happy for N3, and I would be happy to continue like reading Japanese books or doing something with translation from Japanese, and really enjoying the language more than anything. I feel like my knowledge of Japanese and life in Japan in general has really changed me a way no other language has before. I feel like it has changed my thought process. Even I react to things in a different way. So maybe enriched more than changed. But yeah, I love my Japanese journey, and I'll continue keeping you updated about it. If you have any questions, of course you can ask. If you're wondering whether you should start learning Japanese, I say yes, go for it. Of course, it might depend on your situation, your free time, your language background, your motivation. But yeah, I'm very biased in favor of yes, go for it, study Japanese, it's great. Okay, that's all for today. Thank you very much for joining, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.